Hey, what's going on, folks? We're here to check out the complete history of Kamen Rider by Acrimony Toku. And after that, my next video idea is every Kamen Rider season ranked. But I'm gonna see how you guys respond to the complete history video and then go from there. Side story of where I'm at right now. Yes, I have watched Saban's Masked Rider. Yes, I do know that the Kamen Rider universe rejects Masked Rider. I found where I first was introduced to Masked Rider. Yo, Masked Rider appeared in the Power Rangers, right? So everybody should know that Lee is a Ranger fan. This little stupid camera thing that blocks out my sword. Anyways, everybody should know that Lee is a Green Ranger fan. And here is the Masked Rider in 1995 Power Rangers whooping the ass of all four of them. It was like 4 or 5 of them that was there. But the White Ranger and the Red Ranger having to hold it back. I need you guys to realize how much that's a statement, you know? Now, in the Ranger's defense, that Ranger is that's not Jason. If that was Jason, yeah, I'm sorry, man. This would have been a different outcome, but it is still a Red Ranger at the end of the day. A Red Ranger and the White Ranger Tommy trying to hold this man back, and it's not working, bruh. They were trying to talk to Masked Rider, and he was like, "Nah, fam, this is a war. This planet's all about war. We don't do talking over here." I gave them guys the business, man. So I know you guys reject it, but those are nostalgic memories for me, and that's where I'm at. So, you know, I started watching Kamen Rider Black on my own time. Yeah, my thing is none of them have dub. Not a single Kamen Rider is in dub, fam. I might have to watch the American one, but they say that's a sequel to something else. But you guys are like, why you watch the American one? Yo, when I watch TV, I like to like multitask, man. So I can still watch it as sub. I be looking down, missing stuff, man. But anyways, I'm like 5 minutes into Kamen Rider Black, so I reserve the right, because I have to read the subtitles and focus, that I might record my first episode reaction, post it, but I still watch the rest of the series like off stream, because I'm only like 5 minutes into the series. I'm like, yo, dog, I gotta read this, but I was working on something. But anyways, let me not hold you guys up anymore. You guys know what we're here for. We're here for the complete history of Kamen Rider 1971 to 1924.
Has built an incredible legacy and a rich history within Japan and throughout the entire world. This video will cover every single Kamen Rider series throughout history, as well as other major milestones in the franchise like movies, games, and even American adaptations. So if you want a video that you can show to people who don't know what Kamen Rider is, or if you just want to take an entertaining walk with me through the complete history of this legendary franchise, this is the video for you. History of this legendary franchise.
I like that. Look at how sick that suit is, man. That's Kamen Rider Black, right? Ecto phase activate.
To tell the story of the Kamen Rider franchise, we first have to go all the way back to 1938, where a young child
1938
was born in the town of Tome in Miyagi Prefecture, Japan.
That makes sense.
Shotaro would take on the name Ishinomori, and he showed a lot of creativity and a talent for creating characters from a young age. He showcased his abilities in various manga competitions throughout his childhood before he would eventually create a character named Skullman that would of course go on to become Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider. Named Skullman.
That's awesome, man.
Of course, go on to become Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider is perhaps best known for featuring young adult men that become cyborgs and transform into armored superheroes with a theme of grasshoppers and other insects. Although this has loosened up a lot over time, and in the modern age, not all series feature this bug theme. In fact,
I gotta ask, why grasshoppers? Is it because they jump and they can do the Kamen Rider kick?
Most don't.
Most don't what?
Not all series feature this bug theme. In fact, most don't. There are 3 eras of Kamen Rider, and these coincide with the eras of Japan's history. These eras are known as the Showa era, spanning from 1926 to 1989, the Heisei era, spanning from 1989 to 2019, and the Reiwa era, which spans from 2019 through the present day.
89.
Kamen Rider! In
1971, Kamen Rider was born with the iconic original series, starring 2 main protagonists in Takeshi and Hayato, as they would take on Shocker and later Gel Shocker. Day season.
Man came through the bike, sent them flying. That. Who hit him? Who hit him? Look. Respectfully. Yo, he tapped him with flying.
Unlike multiple seasons of Kamen Rider, this series ran for a whopping 98 episodes.
Wow.
And we would start with the story of Takeshi Hongo, a college student who was turned into a cyborg by Shocker, but they were unable to fully convert his mind, and he would rebel and battle against them.
To be like that. Look at that form. Perfect form.
While filming a motorcycle stunt, Takeshi Hongo's actor Hiroshi Fujioka was injured and had to be replaced. They would replace him by Hayato Ichimonji, played by Takeshi Sasaki, and eventually they would join forces together, becoming the iconic double rider Takeshi Sasaki, and eventually they would join forces together, becoming the iconic double
I love it.
This series set iconic tropes such as Kamen Rider being a cyborg fighting an evil organization, and of course his preferred method of transportation,
a motorcycle.
Rider Machine Cyclone.
Rider Machine
Was
Cyclone.
iconic and legendary would be a huge understatement.
Crazy work.
Kamen Rider V3!
Did you say V3? Ah, V3.
In 1973, Toei would follow up the success of Kamen Rider with Kamen Rider V3, a direct sequel featuring returning characters from Kamen Rider.
Shit is fire. Fire. For no reason, it's fire,
In the
man.
series, Shiro Kazami wants to be a cyborg in order to avenge his family that he saw being killed by Destron.
Ooh, beautiful
he becomes
backflip.
mortally wounded while risking his life to protect the Double Riders. So in return, they turn him into Kamen Rider V3.
Makes sense.
This series features Joji Yuki, also known as Rider Man, played by Takahisa Yamaguchi, who has one of the most unique rider suit designs in the franchise, being that his mouth is exposed through his helmet.
Ah.
Our protagonist Shiro is played by Hiroshi Miyauchi, who also played Owl Ranger in Go Ranger, Big One in Jaka, and Chief Counselor Yuki Miura in O Ranger, plus multiple seasons of the Metal Hero franchise. This guy is a Toku legend.
Toku legend.
As far as V3 suit design, it was a natural evolution from the looks of the Double Riders, featuring more red and a slightly more detailed design.
I like the ones that more black, personally. We're going down the line.
1974 was the year of Kamen Rider X, where our main protagonist Keisuke and his father were betrayed by Keisuke's fiancée in order to assist God, the government.
What?
And his father were betrayed by Keisuke's fiancée
Yo!
in order to assist God, the government.
Yo! The government of darkness. Sorry, I squeezed my balls by accident. Oh, that's funny, man. I didn't know what God stood for in the previous video.
And his father to become mortally wounded. Keisuke's father, who was a robotics expert, turned Keisuke into a Kaizorg, also known as X-Rider or Kamen Rider X, in order to save his life.
But he couldn't save himself? Oh, that's cool.
In this series, Keisuke starts as an easygoing character with the optimism of somebody that's about to get married. But all that is ripped away from him, and he turns into a machine of pure precision and focus.
I like it. That girl played him.
His helmet is meant to look like a skull, and his helmet definitely has a look that calls back to the Skullman manga created by Shotaro Ishinomori.
Good.
Due to competition from anime on TV at the time, the show had lower ratings than the studio had hoped, and it only lasted 35 episodes.
Dang.
Also in 1974, we had Kamen Rider Amazon.
Yo, Kamen Rider Amazon is easily the most unique of the Kamen Riders, in my personal opinion, man.
It's the shortest Kamen Rider series ever, and one of the most violent. This show follows Daisuke, who was lost in the Amazon as a child. He was raised by wild animals before eventually being adopted by an Incan tribe. Nearly his entire village would be killed by gold ghosts, but not before an elder in the tribe performs a ritual to give him the power to become Kamen Rider Amazon.
Kamen Rider Amazon.
This was an incredibly iconic and unique new look for Kamen Rider.
I said that shit was unique. I said that was unique.
With a helmet design and a suit design that had never been seen before. This was the first rider to not use a belt to henshin, and the first Kamen Rider series since the original to not have any previous riders returning.
Ooh.
This is also the very last main Kamen Rider series that did not have a Sentai season air alongside it.
Sentai season air. What does that mean? A Sentai season?
Not have a Sentai season air alongside it.
What did that mean? What did that mean? Like in the beginning of the video, I talked about Mask Rider and Power Rangers, but this is American. I know this is American. They're both Sentai series. They aired at the same time, and and you could be in either or. Shoot, I remember in Power Rangers in Space, they had the turtles there. That's cool. So is that what they mean?
1975 saw the release of Kamen Rider Stronger, which was originally planned to be the final Kamen Rider series.
Kamen Rider Stronger.
Shigeru Joe, whose best friend and mentor Goro is killed by Black Satan. Because of this...
Yo, nigga, what kind of names is this? Black Satan? Could he not be any eviler?
Shigeru lets himself get turned into a cyborg or Kamen Rider Stronger.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That transformation is epic.
Kamen Rider Stronger.
Damn. That's epic.
He meets Yuriko, also known as
Tak.
Wave Humanoid Tackle, or
Tackle. Oh, that's where she's from.
Cyborg created by Black Satan, and together they would battle Black Satan and later the Delzer Army.
Cool.
Electronic Wave Humanoid Tackle isn't technically a Kamen Rider, but she definitely has the look of one, especially the ones from the
pretty. She's pretty.
The early Showa era, and she is bug-themed, with Tackle's motif being a ladybug, and she was even created by Black Satan in the same way as Stronger. Unfortunately, the actress Kyoko Okada, who played
she died.
Tackle, passed away at the age of 27 due to an asthma attack.
Oh my god! Oh my god! She was so pretty!
Unfortunately, the actress
That's so
Kyoko
sad.
Okada, who played Electronic Wave Humanoid Tackle, passed away at the age of 27 due to an asthma.
Asthma, damn.
Was played by Shigeru Araki, who also passed away in 2012 of pneumonia.
Damn, this is a rough gig being a Kamen Rider. That's tough.
This was meant to be called Kamen Rider Spark, but that was trademarked in Japan. However, this would have been a really fitting name due to the show's focus on electricity. And this was the very first Kamen Rider series to have a temporary power-up for the main rider. That being Stronger's charge-up form.
That's why it's called Stronger. Kamen Rider.
4 whole years later, the Kamen Rider fandom would be introduced to Sky Rider. This was meant to be a reboot of the original Kamen Rider series after the franchise had been off of TV for 4 whole years, hence the name and similar suit design to Kamen Rider Ichigo. This show would revisit classic themes and tropes from the first
Man, it's flying. Good times, man. Good times.
We follow Hiroshi Tsukuba as he battles Neo Shocker. Eventually, the idea of this being a reboot was phased out over time, and classic Kamen Riders would appear, tying this into the continuity of the rest of the
smart.
With a name like Sky Rider, this series was very focused on flight. However, this was also phased out over time, and as far as I can tell, this was because Shotaro Ishinomori was unhappy with the flight special effects. He didn't like how it looked when Sky Rider was flying around.
I don't blame him. I wasn't gonna troll it, but that's how things looked back in the day, and it just is what it is. That was actually pretty smart. Almost drooled. I think I drooled anyways.
In 1980, we were introduced to Kamen Rider Super 1.
Yo, that one is fire. This Kamen Rider?
This Kazuya volunteers for cybernetic surgery in the International Space Development Program in the
Cybernetic surgery.
United States, so he can be an astronaut who doesn't need a spacesuit to survive in space. Unfortunately, before he can make it to space, the base where his operation is being performed is attacked by the Dogma Kingdom, with everyone else being killed.
But he got the enhancements.
He goes to Japan and is trained by a martial arts expert named Master Ginkai, who teaches him how to henshin into Super 1. This show featured multiple types of interchangeable...
How did he got a cybernetic surgery to go to space? And they taught him how to turn into a Kamen Rider?
How to henshin into Super 1.
What?
This show featured multiple types of interchangeable hands with different strengths and elements, and this functioned as a prototype version of the form switching that we see today.
Oh, that's kind of cool though. That's cool.
In 1984, Toei released a one-off.
This is one of the best videos of its kind. It's very concise, very informative, and it's good information.
Special
This guy did great.
Birth of the 10th Kamen Riders altogether, and this was the introduction of Ryo Murasame, also known as Kamen Rider Z-Cross. Ryo was a pilot who was attacked by a UFO while with his sister before being kidnapped by the Badan Empire.
Oh, is the sister right?
Z-Cross. With his memory erased, he does their bidding before quickly regaining his memory and escaping. He learns of the other riders that came before him, and they would team up together. Although this is only a special, Z-Cross is considered the 10th rider and often represented as a season retroactively. This special marks the final unhinged appearance of Shiro Kazumi, also known as Kamen Rider V3,
V3,
Yuki, also known as Riderman, and Kazuya Oki, also known as Kamen Rider Super 1.
It's the end of an era. That's cool. Kamen Rider Black! Yeah! Yeah. If you're wondering why I'm so excited, I think the suit is so sick. It's so sick and ironically modern. Ironically modern, in my opinion. No flashy stuff.
1987 saw the release of one of the most popular and loved series in the history of the Kamen.
I need y'all to know that no one made me like Kamen Rider Black. I just happened to think that outfit was sick. Let me look at Masked Rider, because that's probably what the reason is. Oh my God, Lee brought up Masked Rider. Stop doing that. Yeah, this is it. It's green. It's definitely green. Okay. So there's that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually going to save this image. This is fire.
And loved series in the history of the Kamen Rider franchise in Kamen Rider Black. This is a legendary entry marked by a dark tone, a gritty look, and a very emotional story. This show is a drama in the fullest sense.
It's a drama.
Black introduces us to Kotaro Minami, who is portrayed masterfully by Tetsuo Kurata. And he delivers a heavy and impactful performance where you're gonna feel the agony that he feels during his fight against Shadow Moon and the Gorgon.
Everyone keeps telling me to watch a different Kamen Rider, but my gut keeps telling me that it's Kamen Rider Black.
It was around this time that the look of Kamen Riders in general started to change a little bit.
Ooh.
The helmets became a little less bulky, and the armor started looking a little more like armor instead of cloth. The
armor instead of cloth
would remain influential to future iterations of Kamen Rider for years.
Look at the music choice is great.
In 1988, after the success...
Hold on. How many episodes is in Kamen Rider Black? Which Kamen Rider has the least episodes? That means I can actually finish a season. Kamen Rider Amazon, they said that. They literally said that. Rank the Kamen Rider episodes, Kamen Riders with the least episodes. 24. Kamen Rider Stronger, Kamen Rider X. Okay. So if I'm looking at pure episode count, I'm probably gonna go. There's Kamen Rider Amazon. I don't think I like that concept as much. I do like Kamen Rider Stronger, but okay. Anyways,
of Kamen Rider Black, the executives at Toei agreed to go ahead with a sequel entitled Kamen Rider Black RX. In this series, Minami Kotaro returns, and he refuses an offer to join the Crisis Empire.
That's the Masked Rider costume, in my opinion.
Where he would become Kamen Rider Black RX.
Throw it into the sun, fam?
This show is notable for featuring Rider.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I now have the sauce. So the Masked Rider, Kamen Rider, when Masked Rider was in his Kamen Rider suit and he was fighting people, this is the footage that they would use. That's why Masked Rider also had a red car and a motorcycle that transforms when he jumped on it. I forgot how that worked.
Instead of Kamen Rider's signature motorcycle. And this was also the first show to introduce form switching into the franchise officially.
Yes. My memory is, if I'm pausing this annoying you, my bad, man, my bad. You know, I could just react. I figure people want commentary and want to know my unique insight. That's why you guys watch the video. If I'm wrong, so be it. I don't intend to be annoying. My memory is, yo, the car would change based on Kamen Rider, or the bike would change. One of those two things change, if not both. That's what I'm remembering. Oh, we're just out. There's little things I'm gonna take a detour on. I never found it, but I just need y'all to hear my homie spit in the beginning. I call upon the power. Talk that talk.
Activate. The Blight and Truth to become Masked Rider. Ecto-Phase, activate.
That's fire, man. Why y'all don't like this show? All right. I call upon the power of light and truth to become Masked Rider.
Absolutely packed year for the Kamen Rider franchise, featuring Shin Kamen Rider Prologue, a film celebrating the 20th anniversary of the franchise. Because this was 20 years later, this film was meant to attract fans of the original series that had now grown into adults, and that's why the film was a lot darker and more violent.
Ooh.
Our protagonist here is Shin Kazamatsuri, who is fused with grasshopper DNA against his will, leading him to fight against the Institute of Super Science, or ISS. Shotaro Ishinomori originally planned for him to be called Kamen Rider Gaia, with a more traditional look, but later on they changed this to Kamen Rider Shin and gave him a suit that was more biological and insect-like. Ishinomori himself even appears in this movie as a spy.
Oh. That Kamen Rider is crazy. So the standalone Kamen Rider is what you could watch. Honestly, that's probably gonna be my first jump, like my first real dive, man. I'm gonna watch a movie, fam.
Also in 1993, we had the release of Kamen Rider on the Super Famicom. This was
I say real dive. Obviously, I've seen Masked Rider, but it's just that people don't count it, and it's been so long, I don't remember everything. So, like, you know, I've always for my disclaimer, which I won't say on every single video. Yes, I have seen Masked Rider. Nevertheless, it was so long ago.
It was a game based on the original Kamen Rider series, released 20 years after the show that it's based on. It was a beat-em-up style game, allowing two players to play as Kamen Rider Ichigo and Nigo, respectively. This game made it possible for a new generation to experience the universe of the original Kamen Rider series.
Hell yeah.
You can even play it with a friend.
I remember those days. Good times. Ultraman?
Rounding out a huge 1993 was Ultraman vs. Kamen Rider, a TV special featuring mini clips and interviews with the people involved from both shows, where we have Kamen Rider growing into a giant to fight alongside Ultraman.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
This was a small project, but fans in 1993 welcomed it.
Oh!
The spirits of these legendary Toku characters alive and well.
Toku characters. Or Japanese buildings.
Kamen Rider J.
J. Oh, he literally makes a J.
1994 was the year of Kamen Rider J, the first rider to be able to grow into a giant. Koji Segawa is a photographer who is killed while attempting to protect his little sister named Kana. He's thrown over a cliff and Kana is captured. The Earth Spirits resurrect Koji, and he becomes Kamen Rider J, who is assisted by his aide Barry. J is played by Yuta Mochizuki, who also played Geki in Zyuranger.
Earth Spirits resurrected him.
1995 would live in infamy with
Infamy.
Saban's Masked Rider, one of the largest blemishes on the resume of Kamen Rider.
I have traveled a vast distance from the planet Edenoi.
Illinois.
After the success of Power Rangers during the 90s,
Of course.
Saban and Toei decided to team up in order to
Of
bring Kamen Rider
course.
to the English-speaking world.
What
This
happened?
resulted in what is widely considered to be one of the worst adaptations
Oh
of
my
all
God,
time.
damn.
The show is about an alien named Max from planet Edenoi
Damn.
who travels to Earth alongside his companion Furbus, who looks
Furbus.
like a giant Furby, and he meets a family who are pretty much devoid of personality and acting skills.
Ecto Phase,
Activate.
They tried to shove Kamen Rider and a family sitcom together, and it just doesn't work.
Ah,
An unfortunate blemish
see.
to the legacy of Kamen Rider in the
I
West.
see. Oh. Oh. They didn't like the family part. It was the sitcom part. Okay. Okay. Is there anybody that liked Masked Rider? Like, why did you like it? I'm trying to understand why people don't like it, why people do like it. But a lot of that is because I'm naive to the ones that are goated. So I understand. I'm not going to defend Masked Rider and say it's great. All I can say is I liked it alongside the Power Rangers, but I was a kid. I was like 7. I had nothing to compare it to.
1998 saw the release of a Kamen Rider game on a
I was
brand new
literally
cutting-edge
7.
system, the PlayStation, allowing fans to experience the original Kamen Rider series all over again. This was a fighting game featuring characters and locations that fans of the original series would be really excited to see.
Dope.
Gameplay was nothing revolutionary here, but this was definitely a noteworthy release in the history of Kamen Rider. 1998 was also a year that would go down as a sad one for Kamen Rider fans, as we lost Shotaro Ishinomori due to heart failure on January 28, 1998.
Damn.
It was unclear what would come of the Kamen Rider franchise with the loss of its creator and visionary.
Oh, that's sad. But yeah.
In 2000, Kamen Rider would return inside of the
Hyuga.
Heisei era with a new hero, a new legend in
Hyuga.
Kamen Rider Kuga.
Kuga.
This was the first series in 11 years.
Jeez. Kamen
main
Rider
protagonist
Kuga.
in Kuga is Yusuke Godai, who finds an ancient artifact that allows him to become Kuga in order to battle the Gyorongi, or unidentified life forms. This was the final Kamen Rider season to feature only a single rider, as every season following Kuga would feature multiple riders.
Oh. They went the multiple rider route after. Epic.
Kuga would also feature multiple forms that were different color swaps and featured different weapons. And this was also the first season to air alongside a Super Sentai season on the same network, leading to Superhero Time.
Superhero time.
In 2001,
Agito,
released a
that's a
direct
fire
sequel
song.
to Kuga, titled Kamen Rider Agito, and this show features 4 very different riders.
I feel like having
Shoichi
multiple
becomes
riders is dope.
Agito, a magic-based rider whose name is Latin for move or keep.
That's cool. I feel like this would be a really good one because you would choose the Kamen Rider that you like and you would just look forward to your homie
Shoichi
Vegeta.
becomes Agito, a magic-based rider whose name is Latin for move or keep moving. Makoto
Keep moving.
becomes G3, a mechanical and technology-based rider who's based off of
Oh.
Kuga and actually puts his suit on. Leo
He actually puts his suit on. That's funny.
is Gills, a biological rider whose armor actually grows from his body.
Oh, damn. Damn. Ah, damn, that looks fire.
And Kaoru is the incredibly cool Another Agito. This was the final Kamen Rider season to feature the Ishinomori style belt design. Also
Cool.
in 2001, the Ishinomori Manga Museum, named after Shotaro Ishinomori, opened in Ishinomaki, Miyagi Prefecture, Japan, to showcase some of the most culturally significant manga
That's awesome.
in history and to educate people on an art form that Shotaro Ishinomori himself loved so much.
Yeah.
Even though Shotaro was gone,
I love the
his
Thule.
legacy was well remembered, and the franchise he created was headed in an exciting new direction.
Dope. Good for them, man. Kamen Rider Black, Kamen Rider Agito really stand out to me. Agito has 4 Kamen Riders. They have different abilities. I like that. That's a really good one.
2002 brought Kamen Rider Yuki, a very popular season, especially amongst fans that enjoy having a lot of riders.
Damn.
riders travel to the mirror world via reflective surfaces. And
The
these
mirror
riders compete
world.
in the Rider War, a winner-take-all competition
What?
where the victor will be granted a single wish.
Oh, the Rider War. Cool.
Yuki is known for having a very unique style, and this series has a lot of cool attributes, like being the first season to use cards, and it was also the first season where riders had a device that activates and announces their abilities and attacks. This was also the first season.
That was cool. The Heisei.
This was also the first season to feature villain riders. It was
Villain
around this time that
riders?
the team at Toei started
Oh.
getting more experimental and creative.
Villain
with suit
riders.
design, as evidenced by the unique and elaborate helmet designs showcased within Yuki.
Cool.
2003 was the year of Kamen Rider Phase, a show in which
Kamen Rider
Smart Brain Org is trying to
Phase.
take over the world with Orphanox, who are the next stage of human evolution. They create 3 suits called Rider Gear, which are Phase, Delta, and Kaiza. Our main protagonist in this series is Takumi, who along with his allies would fight against Smart Brain to prevent them from replacing the world with Orphanox.
Smart brain. That's cool.
Phase brought with it
Yeah, the
a
suits
dark
got better.
quality story with excellent acting and explosive action. And 2003 was another great year for Kamen Rider.
2003. I'm not surprised.
2004 saw the release of Kamen Rider Blade, a playing card themed season featuring multiple riders that represented different suits from the card deck. Our main protagonist is
That's
Kazuo,
cool.
who becomes Kamen Rider Blade after being ordered along with Sakuya by Board to fight against creatures called undead.
I love the music, man.
This
It's
series featured
critical.
Some really cool writers, including Garen, Chalice, Liango, and of course Blade himself. The show featured 2 intros, and the second intro looks cool, and you could tell their focus was just on making it look cool for the audience. But the first intro is genuinely hilarious to me, and it's really unique in its weirdness. Keep that napkin.
I remember.
This was the first season
That's
to have
actually
2
funny.
intros since Skyrider. In 2005, Toei released Kamen Rider Hibiki.
Hibiki.
This show wasn't even originally designed to be a Kamen Rider series, and in pre-production,
What?
many different themes were tossed around, including ninjas and yokai, but when Bandai demanded that the Kamen Rider name be attached to the project
They
in
had to
order
change
sell more
things.
toys, the original themes would be dropped, and the character would become an Oni-themed Kamen Rider.
Oni themed. He's a demon Kamen Rider. What?
By episode 29, chief producer Shigenori Taketera was fired, and this was unofficially attributed to low ratings and low toy sales.
Damn! I don't know why I thought that was funny. Kamen Rider is literally spitting
There was
fire.
a visible tone shift on the show, and it began to resemble more traditional Kamen Rider series.
Oh, it got better.
Hibiki introduced a lot of unique things into the franchise, including the fact that there are no belts to Henshin, and this is the only series with an instrumental theme.
Instrumental theme.
Kamen Rider, the first.
2005 would continue with Kamen Rider the First. Kamen
That's
Rider the
sick.
First was a modern-day reimagining of Shotaro Ishinomori's classic original series.
That's sick.
This movie took some liberties in regards to story, but ultimately serves as a creative and well-made Kamen Rider project that shows a lot of love and respect for the original
I like that.
series.
Can you watch that movie without the other Kamen Riders, or do you have to watch the other Kamen Riders to watch this movie? Sick, man.
2006 was an important year for Kamen Rider, as we would be introduced to the very first HD Kamen Rider series in Kamen Rider Comics.
Oh, look at those toys, man. That's how you sell
The
them.
series takes place 7 years after a meteorite hit Shibuya, and shape-shifting creatures known as worms emerged from the disaster. This show added a cast-off feature, giving a unique external layer of armor over the rider's base armor.
That is
something
cool.
completely fresh and new to the franchise. This show is
Damn.
notable for having a lot of unique riders with varied story arcs. The main protagonist is named Soji, and he's very unique within the
Reminds me of a
franchise
Beetleborg.
due to being extremely arrogant most of the time.
Oh, I like that.
Kabuto is also very unique due to its food and culinary focus.
What? Yo, a
2007
train
would
came out of
bring with it an
nowhere.
absolute cultural phenomenon
Den-O.
in Japan in Kamen Rider Den-O. Ryotaro is a huge wimp until he's possessed
I gotta say, summoning a goddamn train out of nowhere is a hell of a flex.
by the Taros because they imbue their own personality unto him and even change his non-henshin look.
Oh. What?
Ryotaro travels
What?
with Hana and the Taros through time on the Den liner to fight against evil Imagines, and they also encounter Kamen Rider Zeronos. Takeru Sato, who plays Ryotaro, claims that the reason for the show's success was the comedic timing. Because the show was so successful, it would lead to a mountain of revenue for Toei and more crossovers than any other Kamen Rider series in history.
Yo, the money just kept rolling in, man. Shout out to my homies Toei. Oh, damn. Damn, I like that Kamen Rider's outfit.
Following on the heels of Kamen
Rider
First,
Next.
2007 would continue the anniversary celebration that the first started with the release of Kamen Rider the Next, a reimagining of Kamen Rider V3 with a much darker and more intense tone featuring horror themes. Like the Next,
Horror.
this movie introduced these characters to a new generation and put them in an interesting premise set in the Heisei era. Tsuburaya Productions actually helped with visual effects for this movie, and they are of course known for being the makers of Ultraman. 2008 was the year that Kamen Rider would take on a campy vampire theme with
A vampire?
The tagline for this series
Yo, Kamen Riders out here doing whatever they want.
was "Wake Up, Break the Chains of Destiny." This show takes place across two times.
What did I miss just now? The tagline.
Break the Chains of Destiny.
Okay.
This show takes place across two time frames simultaneously, being 1986 and 2008, allowing the audience to experience the cause and effect of certain story beats.
Oh. Cause and effect. I like that shirt.
Our soft-spoken protagonist is Wataru, an introvert who's a human and Fengyre hybrid, and this is actually a huge part of the plot.
Fengyre
where we
hybrid?
would explore Wataru's family history and his place within the hierarchy of the Fengyre species.
Oh. Oh. Oh, what? What?
This show introduced some really unique elements to the franchise, featuring
That's
Wataru's
crazy.
ghostly allies called the Arms Monsters, who provide Kiva with power-ups and live in a building that turns into a dragon. This show also introduced us to Kibat, a bat that bites Wataru's hand to facilitate his henshin. Although Kiva failed to achieve the same levels of success as Deno, this show introduced fans to some fresh and
That is really
interesting new
cool.
things that had never been seen before within the Kamen Rider franchise.
What do they call this thing?
Achieved the same level as henshin. Although Kiva
Facilitate his
failed to achieve
henshin.
the same
They call it henshin for his
levels
transformation.
of success as Deno, this show introduced fans to some fresh and interesting new things that had never been seen before within the Kamen Rider franchise.
Damn. That's cool. Did it have to happen?
2009?
Yo, is that the
No
G
way.
like on it? Look, it's the G on him, isn't it? I think so. Yo, he destroyed the building
Going into
with his
2009,
henshin?
no Rider fan knew just how
What?
huge it would end up being.
What?
With several awesome projects to keep the fan base happy. One of which was Kamen Rider G, a TV special meant to celebrate the 50th anniversary of TV Asahi, as well as promote Kamen Rider Decade. This special followed Goro,
Cool.
a sommelier who henshins into Kamen Rider G as he takes on
big
the
ass sword.
organization's shade. Kamen Rider G is a wine-themed rider who literally uses a wine bottle and corkscrew to henshin, and he even has a sword with a corkscrew attached to it. This special is often overlooked, but it brought the fandom something incredibly
That is unique.
with a wine-themed
Literally what I
rider.
said.
It was just one part of what would be a great year for Kamen Rider.
Yo, who's this?
In 2009, we of course
Decado.
got Kamen Rider Decade, an anniversary season celebrating 10 years of the Heisei era. This
Oh.
show had two catchphrases. One is connect everything by destroying everything, and Heisei was 10 years early.
Connect everything by destroying everything. I like
The
that.
show only had 31 episodes, it was stuffed full of fan service, and was focused primarily on making longtime fans happy.
That's good. That's what you need. Fire.
This show exists amongst the larger Riderverse, where our main protagonist named Tsukasa, also known
Tsukasa,
as the
my
Destroyer of
casa.
Worlds, henshins into Kamen Rider Decade, and he travels to the universes of other Heisei era riders as they are converging into one. He can even henshin into other riders from the Heisei era. Although Decade was a shorter season, the impact of the show was undeniable, as Decade would be featured in many crossover projects over the years.
Short season? Deska?
ようこそ大ショッカーへ
2009
Daishoka?
also brought a huge team-up movie in Kamen Rider Decade.
All Riders versus Dai Shocker.
versus Dai Shocker. This project served as
That
the official
seems
movie
cool.
adaptation of Decade that gave the audience some additional context about Tsukasa and featured a team-up of every rider from the history of the franchise up to this point.
That's awesome. That's
In addition
awesome.
to all of the Henshin riders throughout history, this movie also featured the nostalgic appearances of Tetsuo Kurata as Kotaro Minami, or Kamen Rider Black, and Toshiki Kashu as Shoichi Sugami, or Kamen Rider Faiz, as well
Kamen
as
Rider
tons of
Faiz.
classic villains from the franchise.
That's fire.
When this movie released in theaters, it actually beat Harry Potter in the box office,
Yo, that was in theaters. Oh, they weren't joking, man.
earning over 2 billion yen.
Oh,
Making it a
wow.
huge success for Toei commercially and a memorable part of 2009.
Yo, instant respect once you know it was in theaters. Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. I might have to start with this because it's in English. I assume
Also
it's in
in
English.
2009, Kamen Rider would have another chance at winning over Western fans with a new American adaptation titled Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Using footage from Kamen Rider Yuki, this show aired on the CW television network during its CW for Kids
It was on
programming block,
CW.
but it was ultimately canceled before the final
Dang.
2 episodes aired on TV.
Dang. So never know. There's no point in trying it. Kamen Rider. That's fire.
Producer Aki Komine convinced Toei to let him make a pilot for an American adaptation of Kamen Rider in the same style of Power Rangers, and ultimately Yuki was chosen for the adaptation due to the large quantity of riders and the fact that Yuki has a female rider. Despite the show's cancellation, Dragon Knight actually won a Daytime Emmy Award for stunt coordination.
What?
And it's remembered mostly positively by the community.
Oh, good for them, though. Good for them. But you never get the last 2 episodes.
There was also a Kamen Rider game released in 2009 that would lead to quite a few sequels, and this was a Kamen Rider fighting game commemorating 10 years of the Heisei era and featuring all of the primary Heisei riders up to this point. This game series has become extremely popular in the fandom, and it was another thing that made 2009 such an awesome year for Kamen Rider, but it wouldn't be the last.
Kamen Rider W?
Also releasing in 2009, a fresh take on the Kamen Rider formula, Double is a detective show featuring 2 people that share the same rider body, hence the name Double. The catchphrases for the
W.
show were, "We are the 2-in-1 Kamen Rider," and "This clinches it." Kamen Rider Double uses Gaia memory sticks to swap left and right side forms that also provide him with different color combinations.
Wait a second. I only
Forms
saw.
that also provide him with
That's
different
one
color
person.
combinations.
I thought it was
Shotaro is
2
what I like
people.
to call a detective's detective. He considers himself hard-boiled, although he gets called half-boiled through a lot of the show, something he's not a huge fan of.
Don't
He's
blame
one
him.
stylish dude, and his surname Hidari means left, as he becomes the left side of Double's body. He constantly struggles to live up to his dead mentor's legacy, whose daughter Akiko becomes his landlady, and she has the personality of a young child.
サイクロン
それってガイアメモリー
Then we have Philip. He's the right side, and he searches for useful information and does a lot of research involving keywords to solve cases. And he searches for useful
that's a
information and does
he.
a lot of research involving keywords to solve cases. He's definitely not what he seems, and his story has an excellent twist. Kamen Rider Double featured some excellent lead protagonists that are very easy to root for.
Konoheo.
This show also features
Where do people hide their morphers?
also known as Axel, who's a cool rider that's based around speed, and he eventually falls in love with Akiko. We also have a museum, one of the most memorable and interesting evil organizations in the history of Toku. This show has several loving nods to the creator of Kamen Rider, Shotaro Ishinomori, including Shotaro Hidari having the same name, the green and black color scheme reminiscent of the Showa era, and Kamen Rider Skull, a reference to the Skullman manga that Ishinomori created so many years prior. This was the first Kamen Rider series
Didn't respect him.
to use the term Kamen Rider in English letters on the logo and in marketing, because before this it was always Masked Rider. Double will always
be there's a lot of O's watching this, but it's like, oh, that's cool, man.
Remembered as a cool, fresh, and well-written entry into the franchise.
Damn, dog.
2010 brought us Eiji, also known as Kamen Rider Oz, a nomad with a tragic past who dresses like a hobo and has a not-so-secret obsession with underwear.
How could he be obsessed with underwear, bro?
Ankh, the arm of a greed, which is a creature made of metals that feed on the desires of humans, played by
a creature made of metals,
who also played on a show called Caesar X. And the charisma and the interactions between Eiji and Ankh would be a standout of this season.
What a concept.
Our two leads encounter Kogami-san, who assists them by providing various resources and equipment, but clearly he has ulterior motives, and this guy also loves to say,
Happy birthday.
Kamen Rider Oz also features Kamen Rider Birth, an incredibly unique rider with multiple users, who's themed around capsule toys.
Yo, but they're not. Toei is not playing with these toys. As an adult, you see it way more than when you were a kid. Like, they are not playing. I used to think things were lame because they literally looked like toys. But now as an adult, it's like, yeah, they're trying to sell the toys, fam. Like, yeah.
The thing that's really unique about Oz is that he's able to mix and match metals to combine different forms, but he becomes really cool and powerful when he combines 3 of the same type, like Tajador.
Oh, that's
this show
cool.
was critically and commercially successful, and Oz would continue the streak of excellent Kamen Rider seasons at the time.
I don't know what it is. I think I liked the era before this era, like, for sure. I think I like the classic era. I don't really know how to explain it. I haven't watched it, so I shouldn't really say. But we're in the Heisei era, and to me, I felt hype from the Showa era. Personally, there was something to it. I don't know if the videographer changed. Not changed. I don't really know if his mood changed. Like, he did this in parts, because, you know, whatever. I also filmed this in parts, so maybe my energy went down. But I feel like the Showa era was better as far as what I've been seeing, because, like, the guys seemed more, the characters are more dramatic. I saw more cool poses. And I feel like in this era, we focus on the suits and, like, selling toys more so than anything else. Let me know if the vibe I picked up is there. I'm not bashing it. You know, again, you're looking at preferences. I'm like, nah, I felt it. I felt the Showa era, man. As far as the production of this video. Let's see.
2011 would see the release of a huge team-up movie in Oz, Dino, All Riders, Let's Go Kamen Riders. This movie of course featured Oz and Dino, but it also featured the double riders of the original Kamen Rider series, plus all of the other riders throughout history.
The double riders.
Serving as a celebration commemorating the 40th anniversary of the franchise and the 60th anniversary of Toei Company, this movie continued the tradition of fan service and crossovers within the franchise.
Is cool. Do you see that?
This movie
like, I wasn't really I was kind of chilling, but I appreciate that. Damn.
It was also treated to some nostalgic appearances from other non-Rider Toku characters like Kikaider, Inazuman, and Zubat, and a cool new form from Oz using the Imogen and Shocker medals.
So how they describe those characters?
And Zubat, from other non-Rider Toku characters.
Toku
like
characters. Toku characters. What's the difference between Sentai and Toku? Tokusatsu is a broad term for Japanese live action and special effects, while Sentai is a specific subgenre of Tokusatsu that features a team of color-coded superheroes. Therefore, all Sentai series are Tokukatsu, but not all Tokusatsu are Sentai. Oh, other Tokusatsu genres include Kaiju, Kamen Rider Lone Hero, Kodai Hero, Giant Hero. Oh, Tokusatsu. Okay, all right, got it.
And a cool new form from O's using the Imogen and Shocker medals. Appropriately,
I knew
the
a
catchphrase for the movie.
I knew to call Power Rangers Sentai, but I wouldn't know its definition. So I would have accidentally called, for example, Kamen Rider a Sentai. But now I get it. Power Rangers is a Sentai, Kamen Rider is not.
The catchphrase for the movie is "Oh the world, these are Japan's heroes." Due to the large amount of legendary heroes featured here, and this movie served as a great showcase of the Kamen Rider franchise to new fans.
This is fire. I gotta go back.
Served as Japan's heroes. Appropriately, the
Wow.
Appropriately, the catchphrase for the movie is "Oh the world, these
Oh
are
the
Japan's
world.
heroes."
That's fire. That's fire.
Heroes featured here, and this movie served as a great showcase of the
That's fire.
Kamen Rider franchise to new fans.
Oh wow.
A great
Sorry, I'm
showcase
rewinding. I
of the
think,
Kamen Rider
yeah, that Kamen Rider looks sick.
franchise to new fans.
That's fire. Is that? So I think I was looking at Kamen Rider Black.
This movie served as a
I
great
don't know.
showcase of the
And
Kamen
then
Rider
this is
franchise
Kamen Rider Black,
to new fans.
and this is Kamen Rider Black RX, right? Sometimes that's a little hard to figure out. That's fire though.
Later on in 2011, we were introduced to one of the most unique and fresh Kamen Rider seasons of all time in Kamen Rider Heisei.
Heisei.
A 40th anniversary project themed around space and centered around the Kamen Rider Club of Amanogawa High School. Our main protagonist is Gintaro, an eccentric and charismatic new student who recently transferred and is determined
he
to
looks
be everyone's
badass.
friend.
He doesn't look like someone who wants to be everyone's friend. Now he does. That's a great
Gintaro's
smile.
Childhood friend, and she is just as quirky and fun on screen as Gintaro, making for an excellent cast that portray their characters with enthusiasm. This season took a lot of risks in regard to theming and style, but it resulted in a very memorable season that was consistently entertaining and really fun in general. Also released in 2011 was the game All Kamen Rider Rider Generation for the Nintendo DS
What
system.
happened?
This was a fun arcade-style beat-em-up game that also received a sequel later.
He. Oh, that's cool. I like that one. The hand on the belt.
In 2012, the franchise would go in yet another new direction with Wizard, a magic and fantasy-themed Rider season with quite a bit of comedy and charm added on top of the Kamen Rider formula. The main protagonist for this season is named Haruto, and he uses rings of different elements to hench into Kamen Rider Wizard.
Oh,
this
damn.
series also featured an incredibly likable secondary hero with a cool suit in the mayonnaise-obsessed Kosuke, also known as Kamen Rider Beast.
Oh, he is a Kamen Rider. Okay. Kamen Rider
This
Beast.
season also features
That's
a lot of
awesome.
quirky comedy, mostly delivered by Shunpei.
Oh, snap.
This series
He really
didn't
does
quite
got
reach the
magic.
same height as the previous few seasons, Wizard's uniqueness created new possibilities for what could be featured in Kamen Rider.
Looking like a pirate. Wait.
2012 was the 10th anniversary of TV Asahi's Superhero Time TV block, and to celebrate, Toei
What?
released Kamen Rider and Super Sentai Superhero Taisen, a crossover film
Super
featuring
Sentai.
the company's two most famous franchises.
Wow. That's
This movie
awesome.
focuses primarily
Damn.
on Decade, Foze, Oz, Go-Busters, and Gokaiger, but the vast majority of Riders and Rangers throughout history
Oh, wait.
are here. In this film, but the vast majority of Riders and Rangers
Riders and Rangers. None of these are Power Rangers. They're just Rangers.
This film, Captain
Right?
Marvelous leads
Okay.
the Daizangyak fleet against all Kamen Riders, while Kamen Rider Decade leads Shocker against all Sentais. This movie brought the stakes and intrigue of a heavyweight fight to the big screen and a love letter to both Kamen Rider and Super Sentai.
Super Sentai. Oh, no, that was. Oh, yeah, I did see the Power Rangers. Okay. See, I don't know all of them. This is Power Rangers Turbo over here. This is Turbo. Okay. I see. Dang, I'm like, yo, one of these is Wild Force. I think Wild Force is over here. And these people, that triangle, that's Power Rangers Turbo for sure. I don't recognize the people in the middle. So Super Sentai includes the Power Rangers. Super Sentai. Long-range Japanese television show genres. Oh, it's a bunch of Super Sentai. It's just a bunch of them. They're not all Power Rangers, right? The long-range Japanese television genre of live-action superhero shows used for its colorful costumes. I know you guys are gonna get at me. Like, how do you not know this stuff? So because I'm talking to y'all, I'm not gonna say anything ignorant. But in all my life, I'm like, oh, yo, it's in the Power Rangers genre. Oh, that show right there, VR Troopers. I say the same shows. Oh, it's like Beetleborgs, VR Troopers, Power Rangers. It's in that genre. I don't use the word. I never have to use the word. My peers don't use the word. We just say, oh, it's like Power Rangers. I'm watching a Kamen Rider video, so now I have to elevate myself. Especially to being honest, because I'm talking to an audience that is like invested. So I'm elevating myself, and additionally, I add Kamen Rider to what I got, and I'm like, okay, now I gotta make sure I say them right, Game.
2013 would continue the trend of wild and fresh ideas being implemented into the Kamen Rider
man
formula
came through on a horse.
with a much loved and very unique season, Kamen
That's
Rider
cool.
Gaim. This show features
Gaim.
dancing fruit samurai, which might sound childish on surface level,
Yeah.
but this show actually has a surprisingly dark tone at times, with a lot of depth and weight to the story.
Henshin.
In the universe of Gaim, reality has become almost unbearably hard and depressing for most people, so dance troops are formed to liven up the community, and one of these troops is called Gaim. Kota is our
that's
main
cool.
protagonist who becomes Kamen Rider Gaim, and he displays a charisma and relatability
that's fire.
that makes
Jeez, I gotta go back. Look at
Kamen
that.
Rider Gaim, and he displays a charisma
Dang, that's
and
fire.
relatability that makes it very easy to root for him.
Look at that armor. Man is badass.
This show is another treat for fans.
That's not what his face looked like. The triangle, that little thing up in there, orange. Yeah, that's a different
This show is another
face.
treat for fans of Rider versus Rider battles and infighting. And Gaim is generally remembered
Rider
very
versus
fondly
Rider
by most
battles.
of the community, and it would be impossible to tell the story of Kamen Rider without Gaim.
Cool. Tomina!
2013 would also deliver another fun-filled and action-packed team-up movie in Kamen Rider and Super Sentai and Space Sheriff Superhero Tyson Zeto. This
Superhero
was a sequel
Tyson's-
to the Superhero Tyson movie with the new addition of the Metal Heroes franchise.
Dang! That's cool.
This movie features heroes from the three major Toei franchises on screen together to fight against the emerging space heroes from the three major Toei
Dang!
franchises.
I thought I recognized one of them, but I don't. I'll show you who I thought it was. I thought this dude was somebody called the Blue Centaurian. The Blue Centaurian. Century. That's probably what it is. Centurion. Blue Centurion. That's how you say it. Okay. Anyways.
On screen together to fight against the emerging Space Shocker in a thrilling and nostalgic celebration of Kamen Rider and all of Toei.
Kamen Rider!
勝って仮面ライダー
In 2013, Toei and Bandai Namco released a game titled Kamen Rider Bat Ride War for the PlayStation 3. This game is considered a hack and slash style game and features every Heisei rider up until Wizard. This game lets you take on large groups of enemies at a time during battle scenarios designed to make you feel like a powerful Kamen Rider. The
Oh, that's
success
cool.
of this game would lead to several sequels over the years.
Oh, damn. The game actually looks pretty dope. The costume. Sometimes it just works better
2014
in
would see the
animated
release of Kamen
forms.
Rider Drive, a car and police focused season. Shinsuke is an officer that was demoted into the Special Investigation Division.
Oh, that kick is
to investigate,
epic.
Slow down and fight against the Void Mutes.
Henshin. Oh, that's cool.
He henshins into Kamen Rider
Henshin?
Drive using Belto-san and drives around in a stylish red car. Takahito Omori, one of the producers of the show, called it a tribute to Knight Rider, a car-focused show from the 1980s.
Knight Rider.
The theme song for the season is sung by Mitsuru Matsuoka, who also played Kamen Rider Eternal in Double. Drive was a well-written and much liked season that added to the Kamen Rider legacy in a positive way and kept the fandom entertained in 2014.
Ooh, that's that Egyptian little
was a
look.
bit of a slow year for Kamen Rider, with the only project of note being Kamen Rider Ghost.
Kamen Rider Ghost.
Revolving around the afterlife as our main protagonist Takeru searches for
Hence why it's called
icons
Ghost?
that will prevent his permanent death.
Oh. Damn, it's permanent death.
The suit designs of the season feature bold colors, elaborate helmet ornamentation, and hoodies, a look that I appreciate even today.
Oh, that is fire. Oh, I gotta go back. They came through with hoodies?
Feature bold colors, elaborate helmet ornamentation, and hoodies.
That is
a look that I appreciate
fire!
even today.
Yo! I do too. Kamen Rider!
2016 saw the introduction of one of the most bold, colorful, and fun Rider series of all time in Kamen Rider Ex-Aid. Celebrating the 45th anniversary of Kamen Rider, this is a show that takes place mostly in a hospital and focuses on a group of gaming doctors that battle against the Bugsters. This cast is loaded with charm and personality, especially our main protagonist, Emu.
I'm a Kamen Rider.
The
Kamen
suits
Rider.
have a really unique anime look, and almost everything has a look that you could perhaps best describe as being part anime and part retro gaming. It might sound like a strange combination, but it works really well, and the aesthetic of Ex-Aid makes the show an incredibly memorable entry into the franchise.
What is that? Yo!
In 2016, the
Amazons.
Kamen Rider fandom was also treated to a new Rider series for adults called Amazons,
I thought-
based on the classic Kamen Rider Amazon.
Oh!
And streamed on Amazon Prime.
I was like, yo, nigga. I know we already got an Amazon. It's the S. The
There you
S.
go. This
That's
show
funny.
featured a distinctively more violent style compared with the mainline series, something that this show shares with the original. In fact, there's a lot of things from this show that I just can't show you on YouTube.
Oh my
Because
God.
If I did, Kane Janai. This show featured only 12 episodes, but would get renewed for a second season. This series brought new attention to the classic Kamen Rider Amazon series, as well as attention to the Kamen Rider franchise as a whole.
I'm gonna start with that
due to
one.
How prevalent Amazon Prime Video is throughout the world.
I'm gonna start with that one. Real short. Yeah, that makes sense.
2017 saw the debut of a cool new science and math themed rider in Kamen Rider Build. After an item called the Pandora's Box was discovered on Mars, there was an event called the Skywall disaster that split Japan into 3 warring territories, Toto, Hokuto, and Seto, and this also created monsters called Smash. In order to deal with the fallout of this event and to defeat Smash, the Toto government enlists help from our main protagonist, Sento. Sento is unquestionably a genius who henshins into Kamen Rider Build. This series also features Ryuga,
That is
also known
cool.
as Crossy, as
That
a
is
captivating
cool.
secondary rider with a well-written story, as well as Ivorto, an alien that wants to assimilate all of humanity. Due to Build's unique world building, interesting characters,
Build
and
is
great
fire.
story, this show has remained as one of the most loved and well-remembered series in Kamen Rider history.
I see why you guys are hyping Build. This is probably one of the best reasons. It really got my attention in this. Nah, Build looks fire. Build looks fire. I actually gotta go back.
Interesting alien as a captivating secondary rider.
Wait,
with a
like, since they
well-read
started
Kamen Rider
talking.
antagonist, this event created monsters called Smash. In order to deal with the fallout of this event and to defeat Smash, the Toto
Yeah.
government enlists help from our main protagonist, Sento. Sento is unquestionably a genius who hinges into Kamen Rider build.
He's a genius who uses Kamen
The
Rider.
series also features Ryuga,
Cool.
also known as Crossy, as a captivating secondary rider with a well-written story,
This one is selling. Epic voice work.
as well as Ivorto, an alien that wants to assimilate all of humanity.
Yes.
Due to Build's unique world building, interesting characters, and great story, this show has remained as one of the most loved and
Oh,
well-known
damn,
series in
disrespected.
Kamen Rider history.
Yeah, it got my attention. This one. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it
2018
was.
brought us the final season of the Heisei era and the first anniversary season since Decade 10 years
So Build
prior
is
in
def-
Kamen Rider Gyo.
I feel like Build is the best of the Heisei era that I've seen so far. I should say, it's just something about it that just stuck out to me in the ways that the other ones didn't, and I
This
can't
year's
put it
show
into
is themed
words.
around time and
It just
time
seemed
travel.
cool.
Our main protagonist Sogo is destined to become Oma King Gyo, a ruthless tyrant of the
I'm
future.
sorry. You know what it was about Build? This is like the first time that it stood out to me, like the villain's intentions. And this alien, I feel like he added something extra when you talked about the antagonist. And it's just the way he put these words together made me feel like, nah, this is actually serious. Japan split into three. World domination with an alien that wants to assimilate. A genius that builds this Kamen Rider suit. From what I'm looking at, nah, this got my attention.
Final season of the Heisei era and the first anniversary season since Decade 10 years prior in Kamen Rider Gyo. This year's show is themed around time and time travel. Our main protagonist Sogo is destined to become Oma King Gyo, a ruthless tyrant of the future.
A
To prevent
ruthless
this,
tyrant
Gaius
of the
goes
future.
back in time to kill Gyo, but a woman named Tsukuyomi has also gone back to protect Sogo.
So what happens?
As this is an anniversary season, we're treated to a lot of throwback riders and various crossovers that longtime fans will appreciate, including grotesque versions of the riders that oppose our heroes.
That's cool.
Gyo was a love letter
That's
of a
awesome.
season written to the Kamen Rider franchise as a whole.
This is all of them.
Before
Agito
the Heisei
looked
era
good too.
officially came to a
Agito,
close,
I remember, was
Toei
good too.
released Heisei Generations Forever, a
Heisei.
huge celebration of the entire
Oh,
Heisei
that-
era, meant to appeal to fans both young
That suit
and
is
old.
fire.
This movie is stuffed with fan service related to every one of the Heisei riders, and they each get a healthy amount of time to shine.
Build. That's awesome.
The entirety of the Heisei era leads up to this point in a triumphant and thrilling climax,
Look at
and
this.
this project marks the final rider project before the next era.
Awesome. That's awesome. I got hype on this one. All right, the Reiwa era.
2019 brought with it the Reiwa era. in
Reiwa,
Kamen Rider
Reiwa,
Zero One.
Reiwa.
This show follows Aruto Hiden, who is a comedian that inherits a company called Hiden Intelligence from his grandfather. Hiden Intelligence makes human gears, which are AI-powered robots that resemble humans.
But
Eventually, Aruto encounters MetsuboJinrai.net, who are rogue humagears led by Kamen Rider Horobi, and they intend to bring about the extinction of humans by hacking and corrupting other humagears.
私は技術顧問の刃優愛。そして捜査官
human gears.
不破勇だ
This is
This show
epic.
features Yaiba and Fua from the organization AIMS, also known
AIMS.
as Kamen Riders Valkyrie and Vulcan, and their goals aren't always the same as Aruto's, or even each other's, leading to a really interesting story with explosive conflict.
They fought each other, I think.
This show asks if AI is a good or bad thing, a question that's increasingly more relevant in today's world.
Yes, it
We've come
is.
to discover that there isn't necessarily a clear black and white answer to
No.
this. Zero One featured a collection of amazingly detailed and dynamic-looking suit designs, as well as
I like
action that I
these.
consider very anime-like in general. This is a season
I
that's
like
a treat
this.
for the eyes. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, the production of
Oh.
this series was cut short toward the end, resulting in a
Oh.
rushed final act of Zero One and a change in
Oh.
tone for the next franchise entry.
Oh, dang. That one looked like it was going well.
In 2020, after the pandemic, with Zero One's production being
2020?
cut short
After the pen. The pandemic ended in 2020, nigga?
And most people staying at home, it was decided that the next Kamen Rider season would have a warmer and more lighthearted tone. This resulted in 2020's Kamen Rider Saber, a fun and whimsical take on the Kamen Rider formula that features a more lighthearted tone and even an outro dance number, which was a first of the franchise. Our main protagonist is a novelist named Toma, who was quite possibly the most stylish rider since Shotaro Hidari of Kamen Rider Double. 2020 was a year where the fans needed some lighthearted fun in their life, and Saber delivered on that.
Kamen Rider! Oh, damn, that looks sick! Memory of Heroes.
Also treated to a brand new Kamen Rider game for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch called Kamen Rider Movie.
It was so epic.
01 teaming up with Double and O's in an original new Kamen Rider adventure that allowed fans to henshin, fight bosses, and switch between the awesome forms that these riders possess. Players could acquire new abilities from the enemies they defeat as well as upgrade their stats. Despite the pandemic, Kamen Rider was alive and well in 2020.
What's this?
Early 2021, we got
look at this suit. Hold on.
Crossover movie
Hold on. Look at this suit. It's like a transformer. Oh, that's epic.
Zenkaiger Superhero Senki, a crossover movie project between Saber and Zenkaiger to celebrate Kamen Rider's 50th anniversary and Super Sentai 45th anniversary.
Yeah, where do they keep these suits?
For this movie is straightforward heroes half of the century.
Oh, Ryder was there. Damn, of course he was.
During the events of the movie, riders end up in the Zenkai world and the Zenkaiger
they're all reds.
In the Saber world, and eventually they team up together as you would expect. This movie served as an excellent anniversary celebration for fans of both franchises.
That's cool.
Also in 2021, we got Kamen Rider Revice. Serving as the 50th anniversary project of the franchise, Revice is a story about Ikki and his inner demon, Vice, who are tandem riders that become Kamen Rider Revice.
His inner
runs
demon.
A bathhouse together, and his siblings also become riders as they use.
Oh, look at that epic knee!
Fight against the Deadmans. Revice brought a new style and vibe into the franchise, as well as crazy color choices for the riders. And the unique aspects of the show make it memorable within the history of Kamen Rider.
Fight!
2022 brought with it an absolute banger of a Kamen Rider season in Kamen Rider Geats. This series
Geats is what it gets recommended to me.
With supporters and organizers from the future called the Desire Grand Prix. The winner of this battle royale will have their deepest desire granted to them, so the stakes are really high and the conflict is really interesting.
Ooh.
Our main protagonist is Ace Yukio, who is the definition of being cool. We also have the famous social media star Neon, also known as Nago, who has a really great story arc, and she's very easy to root for.
Yeah. Henshin! I'm already rooting for her. She's cute. I'm already rooting for her.
Through an intense story arc.
Hey, hold on. When she said Henshin.
Famous social media star Neon, also known as Nago, who has a really great story arc, and she's very easy to root for.
Henshin! It's fire!
A happy-go-lucky character that goes through an intense story arc that turns him into a vengeful force of nature. This entry into the Kamen Rider franchise featured a great story, a great cast, and superb action scenes. Geats was so successful that it even received a Blu-ray release in America.
A Blu-ray release.
2022 also gave us the reimagining of the legendary Kamen Rider Black story with Black Sun on Prime Video. A much more violent and politically charged take on the classic series that took its own liberties with the source material. This series celebrates the 35th anniversary of Kamen Rider Black, serving as an example of just how iconic and legendary that series was. And did I mention it's really bloody? There's a lot in the show that I can't even show you on YouTube.
Another one. Oh my god. Animated Kamen Rider.
2022 also gave us the direct anime sequel to Kamen Rider Double in Futo PI. This series follows Shotaro
That's
and Fudo
awesome.
as they solve crimes and do Kamen Rider things in a post-
Yo, animated like Kamen Rider, like these tokus, animated tokus, they look good,
Double is
man.
extremely popular, and the success
Yeah,
of
look at this.
UPI raises hopes that maybe someday the fandom will be treated to anime adaptations
Oh,
of more Kamen Rider series.
yes.
And this show is even getting a film release this coming November.
Nice. That I'm excited for.
In 2022, we also got the O's 10th anniversary movie,
The
10th Gold
O's?
Medal of Fate, in which Eiji's story would come to an end, and many fans were quite unhappy about how it ended.
Oh. Damn, son. Bakuga.
I've had people tell me in the comments that in Japan people were crying in the theaters. Regardless of how you feel, this was a historically significant Kamen Rider project.
I gotta go back to that acting, bro.
I've had people tell me
What'd you do to him?
I've had people tell me in the comments
What'd
that
you
in
do to
Japan
him?
people were crying in the theaters. Regardless of how you feel, this was a historically significant Kamen Rider project. 2023 brought us Kamen Rider Gotchard, a lighthearted and fun rider season focusing on Shotaro Ishinomori, also known as Kamen Rider Gotchard.
Kamen Rider Gotchard. What?
This series brought with it a new alchemy theme and a return to cards being used by the riders, in addition to fun creatures called Kemis. This story explores the lives of Shotaro and his friend Rin Kudo as they seek to capture the Kemis.
Oh, damn. I was like, what is happening in
Serious
front of that thing?
projects, Gotchard was a season that had a... After
Jeez.
some more serious projects, Gotchard was a season that had a few shortcomings in terms of story beats and character development, but historically the franchise tends to ebb and flow between lighthearted kid-friendly seasons and darker seasons with more mature stories. Gotchard leans more towards being a kid-friendly season, like I just described, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing, and some fans might even view it as a positive.
Kamen Rider. That's sick.
2023 also
There's something
gave an incredibly stylish love letter to the
Shin.
original Kamen Rider series in the form of Shin Kamen Rider.
How's this
another
one?
reimagining to celebrate the franchise's 50th anniversary. This movie set out to
Oh,
take
it's a
everything
movie.
that made the original series great and dial it up to 11.
Alright. X.
The
Ecstasy.
look, tone, style, and music are all faithfully recreated here, with a new layer of flair and high production values that only time and a large budget can provide.
Yeah,
This movie
time
tells
and a
story
large
that's
budget.
A combination of several story beats from throughout the original series, and these elements are all stitched together in a really entertaining way. It's obvious that the people involved in making this movie had a ton of love for the franchise, and they put their hearts into making it. And now, in 2024, at the time of
Oh, right before the end, I'll let you guys know what Kamen Rider I'm deciding on committing to. I'm going to commit to a
making
Kamen
this
Rider.
video, we finally have a look at the next rider coming up in Kamen Rider Gav, a snack-themed rider whose catchphrase is, "Sweets and evil, I'll eat them up." He has a unique purple, blue, and yellow color scheme, along with some other cool-looking forms. And if history is any indicator, this will be another big year for Kamen Rider.
Another big year. Good for y'all, Kamen Rider.
For 50 years, the Kamen Rider franchise
50
has given us
years.
some amazing characters, interesting stories, jaw-dropping action, and heart-wrenching drama. We've seen hundreds of riders fight for what they believe in or who they care about, tons of evil organizations be brought to justice, and we've been lucky enough to enjoy this amazingly weird and wonderful world of triumph called Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider.
Thanks for taking a trip with me through the history of this awesome franchise. I'd love to hear what your favorite Kamen Rider moment is in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it a lot if you would smack the shit out of that like button. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, that was a great video, man. Great video. I am now a wiser person. So I'm going to do Kamen Rider Amazons. The reason is because I could complete one, read the subtitles, and that's about it. Because, you know, you know, when I'm watching TV on my own time, I want to be able to hear it in English. So if it's like 89 episodes or 50 episodes, I'm like, man, that's gonna take me forever. Unless I watch one episode every so often. But I can, like, 12 episodes, that's manageable. And I'm like, I can post my first episode and then put the rest of them on Patreon, because I'm going to sit here and in a scenario where I'm reading subtitles, then I'm not distracted by anything. So I might as well have just recorded it. That's an easy, that's just an easy no-brainer thing to do. So that's where I'm at. This video made me like it more. So the Kamen Riders that stick out to me is obviously Amazon's, but that was only for length. If the ones I like the most from what I listened to is Kamen Rider Build, Kamen Rider Agato, Kamen Rider Black, and actually like the very first Kamen Rider, just the very first, just because. Those are my top 5. They're just the very first Kamen Rider, just because it's the first. It's just the first. The Kamen Rider Black, Kamen Rider Build, Kamen Rider Agato, Build, Black, Classic, Yeats. That's what I was missing. All right, man. Yo, thanks for checking it out. I am gonna head on out, man. Much love to you guys. Subscribe if you guys haven't. I'm adding some other stuff to my watch list. This looked like a good video. So have a good one, y'all. Subscribe. More to come. Peace.
And you know I couldn't stop at just one channel. Consider subscribing to the subsidiary channels for YaBoyRockLee, found in the description of this video. Thank you.